Deputies from the Washington County Sheriff's Office and other agencies responded to the 19,100 block of Old Waterford Road in Hagerstown, Maryland, for a reported shooting. The victim was an adult male who was located in the driveway of the residence. The victim was suffering from what appeared to be gunshot wounds. He was transported to Meredith Medical Center, where he later succumbed to his injuries. The victim was identified as Washington County, Maryland Circuit Court Judge Andrew Wilkinson, 52 of Hagerstown.
Welcome back, and now to what's trending in true crime. Law enforcement in Maryland in search of that suspected shooter this morning, the man they say murdered the Honorable Andrew Wilkinson in Maryland. He was a Washington County Circuit Judge, gunned down in his driveway, his wife and son inside their family home. The 52-year-old taken to a local hospital where he later died. Police say the suspect is Pedro Argate. Last Thursday, Wilkinson oversaw a divorce hearing involving Argate, in which the judge granted child custody to Argate's wife, or ex-wife, I should say. On Friday, Washington County Sheriff Brian Albert told the media the tragic shooting was a direct result of that ruling.
This was a targeted attack on Judge Wilkinson. We've identified Pedro Argate, 49, of Frederick, Maryland, as a suspect in this case. Argate is not in custody and is considered armed and dangerous. In the preliminary investigation, we had no idea that the information was coming in. So we placed officers and troopers at the local judges here in the county at their residence, just as a precaution initially, and they stayed there through the night till this morning. But we don't feel that there's any threat currently to the other judges in the county or the state.
Oh, this is just so sad. Now, the question we're asking this morning, with increased security, is a shooting like this ever preventable? Let me bring in our guests. I have a wonderful panel joining me this morning in the studio. Criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Noah Pines, standing by remotely, civil rights and appellate attorney Mark Begnaud, and retired criminal defense attorney Kirk Nurmi, who famously represented Jodi Arias. Good morning to all of you gentlemen. Wonderful to see you all. Noah, would you start us off, please? Do you think this kind of thing is ever preventable?
No. You know, it's sad, but obviously there are people out there who have an agenda. I mean, could you maybe have prevented this case if the judge had an inkling that, you know, the other litigant was that angry? But you really can't protect every judge out there from people like that, or every attorney. You know, we've had attorneys who've been shot and killed. Attorneys, you know, criminal defense, you have defense attorneys, prosecutors, family law attorneys. You can't protect everybody, Julie. Right. You can take precautions, but you can't protect everybody.
Right, I agree with you, Noah. Mark Begnaud, wonderful to see you. You've been very busy, and we're wanting to get you back on Court TV. It's so great to have you on Opening Statements, my friend. Talk to me, what do you think about prevention with something like this?
Thanks, Julie, and I love the news show. Thanks so much for having me back on.
Thank you.
I think Noah's absolutely right. I mean, I think that preventing this is kind of impossible. The scary thing to me about this case was that the judge was shot outside of his own home, which brings up a whole nother set of concerns, right? You know, you expect that that kind of thing could happen at the courthouse. You could have somebody who's very angry who lays in wait, but for the person to actually be able to find them at their home, you know, find a judge's home address, just it creates, I guess, like kind of an added level of terror. And so, you know, the lawyers who litigate these cases, the judges that oversee these cases, it's always scary that this kind of thing can't happen.
Mm-hmm. No, most definitely, Mark, you're right. Kirk Nurmi, last but not least, let me go to you on this one. Weigh in for us, please.
Yeah, you know, this brings back memories of my days of representing Jodi Arias and thinking about all the threats that we received, myself, my defense team, other parties involved in the case as well. And unfortunately, you know, while you live in that cloud of hypervigilance during the trial, what have you, there's nothing really can be done to prevent it, right? There was heightened security measures at the courthouse, but at the same time, you know, I would still be out in the public, what have you, without any kind of security. So because we don't want to live our lives, obviously, in a hole, but these sort of things happen, and the best that can be done is to have that security around the courthouse and hopefully be cognizant of when the litigation is so tense that maybe the be some extra security measures taken outside of the courthouse.
Well said, Kirk, thank you. The sheriff confirmed that Argate did not even attend that divorce hearing. He wasn't even present for it, but just learned about the ruling. On Saturday, police found his silver Mercedes in the area of Williamsport, Maryland, which is just about 8 miles away from where the judge lived. Now, law enforcement are asking the public to be on alert for the 49-year-old. Take a good look at him. This is his picture. The U.S. Marshal Service offering up a $10,000 reward this morning for any information leading to Argate's arrest. And, of course, our hearts are breaking for the family members here, you know, the judge's family and Argate's family members who've been victimized by him already. Should these family members be concerned? Let's talk about the victims' family members, the judge's family. Should they be concerned that there's a danger that exists for them? Noah.
I mean, I'm not a security expert, Julie, but I think obviously he was targeting the judge, and the family's probably not a target. You know, there used to be rules of engagement, you know, in representing people in cases, which are, you know, the lawyers and the judges are safe. We're doing our job.
Off limits.
We're off limits, and you know what we're doing in the courtroom is our job, and everybody respected that, and that's changed. And you know, like Kirk, I've actually had police 24/7 around my house for a couple months for a case I was handling, and it's a little freaky to think that people would come to my home and you know and harm me, but that was a precaution we took.
Oh, God forbid. And right, it is scary. It's a very real thing, you know, and people need to respect the laws. You know, I realize it's easier said than done, you know, but laws are in place for a reason. And then here, when people don't follow the laws, it's just all chaos breaks loose. The victim's family, Mark Begno, let me go to you on that point first. Do you think they ought to be, I'm sure they're terrified. Should they be taking extra precautions this morning? Your opinion?
I mean, I'm sure anybody that is even remotely involved in this case is going to be pretty terrified until Argate is captured. And so I imagine that they are being hyper vigilant. I mean, I think that Noah's also got a good point that it doesn't seem like they would be targets here. You know, I'd be more worried about the other lawyers in the case, right? His ex's family attorney. You know, that's a person that if I'm them, I'm particularly vigilant because he's shown that he is willing to go after people who we would expect to be off limits.
Oh,
so
really
I think
good
that
point.
I think the family's going to be scared until he's captured, but I think that I would hope that they're going to be okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Mark. And that's a great point to kind of dovetail off of that. You know, his ex-wife's family law attorney who, you know, was in that divorce proceeding with him ought to take precautions. And then also the suspects' family members, you know, they were terrified of him based on my reading of it. That's what I was able to glean from it. Terrified that the kids were at risk of abuse. The ex was at risk of abuse. And for the judge to say no contact with your family, this has to be a very dangerous, bad guy. Kirk Nurmi, your thoughts on that, please?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this guy is a guy who's shown himself he's capable of committing murder. And as you say, you know, he's got nothing to lose now. He's already committed one murder. He's probably looking at life behind bars. So I do think, you know, in this day and age with the internet, what have you, people can find family members. They can find where children go to grade school. They can find spouses, anybody related to it. And if he feels like he's got this vendetta and nothing to lose, that makes him highly dangerous. So I suspect the family is taking extra precautions. And as has been said, everyone involved in the case should be doing so. The police should be hyper vigilant in this regard until this man is captured.
Beautifully said. Kirk Nurmi, Mark Begno, such a pleasure to have you both on opening statements this morning. Thank you so much. I know you both have busy days ahead. We're going to let you take off. Noah's sticking around with us for the rest of the hour, and we thank you for that, my friend. Let's hit that break. Here's what's coming up next for you on opening statements. We're going to turn our attention to the murder of beloved rap icon Tupac Shakur, breaking down the grand jury transcripts. Yes, we've got them at Court TV, and we're combing through them. Some very famous names are mentioned.